Hello and welcome back to Shakesyear. We are working on Edward III, and today we get to hear from King Edward III in Act 2, Scene 2. So in the very long Act 2, Scene 1, King Edward was trying to woo the Countess of Salisbury, who didn't want to do it because they're both married, and then he got her father to tell her that she should, but she was like, still don't want to do it, and the dad's like, phew, so glad that you don't want to do that, and that was basically the end of Act 2, Scene 1. So that's where the romantic side of things are at the moment right now. But on the war front side, if you remember from the very beginning of the play, Edward is probably the rightful heir to the French throne, so he's decided he also wants to go overthrow France, and he had sent some of his guys out to muster an army so that they can go conquer France. And at the beginning of this Act 2, Scene 2, they've been pretty successful in mustering an army, so they're ready to go. They have the support of the emperor, they have loads of men who are ready to fight, but the king's thoughts are still with the Countess of Salisbury. So when they're saying, you have the emperor's love and support, he's like, why don't I have her love and support? And that's what he's going through as they are all getting ready for war, even to the point where when the war drums sound the march to get going, he's like, shut those things up and tell that drummer that he needs to go find out how to learn to play the lute, because what is this? Tell him to stop. But then he finds out that the drummer is actually his son, Prince Edward. So Prince Edward comes in, and Edward III remarks about how like his mother the prince looks, which takes him a little bit out of the realm of the Countess of Salisbury. And Prince Edward is like, yeah, we're ready to go. I have a whole bunch of men. Should we start marching now? And King Edward says, still do I see in him delineate his mother's visage. Those, his eyes, are hers, who, looking wistfully on me, make me blush. For faults against themselves give evidence. Lust as a fire, and men, like lanthorns show, light lust within themselves, even through themselves. Away loose silks or wavering vanity. Shall the large limit of air Brittany by me be overthrown, and shall I not master this little mansion of myself? Give me an armor of eternal steel, I go to conquer kings, and shall I not then subdue myself and be my enemy's friend? It must not be. Come, boy, forward, advance, let's with our colors sweet the air of France. So he starts out here remarking about how much like his wife, Prince Edward, looks, and how that makes him feel guilty, because it's reminding him that he does have a wife, he does have a kid, he does have family. So he probably shouldn't be so invested in what happens with the Countess of Salisbury. And he's like, these sort of warring factions in my brain, if I can conquer France, can I not get myself under control? But then also, if I get myself under control, is that making it easier for my enemies to conquer me? And he's like, no, we can't have that. Let's go attack France. At which point Lodovick comes in and says, the Countess of Salisbury would like to have a quick word with you. And Edward is going to have thoughts on that in tomorrow's monologue. So I'll see you then. Mwah.